Hello, friends. Welcome to another episode of Cynispection. Um, I'm Gabe's. That's John. Today we're going to be talking about episodes 3 and 4 of
Willow.
Willow. Um, I don't know how to start.
I don't
I,
know whether
I,
to love or hate this show, if
yeah,
that
that's what I
is
was gonna say. I would say that I've never hated something so much that I enjoy watching.
yes.
It's
I
like a
don't yeah, it's very
paradox.
strange. Hmm.
Like
Yeah,
I
the
hate
writing
it. Yes.
yeah. The writing is miserable. The actors are bad.
Not all of them,
Um
but many of
m-
them, yeah.
for the most part. Uh they don't know like where they are. They don't know what time frame they're in. It's I don't even know. I like it's so bad, but I keep watching. And
But I enjoy it.
I
I'm
actually like the
watching
show,
it.
yeah.
I'm enjoying myself partly because I'm just like, what the like who wrote this thing? Like there's we talked about this last week, but this week was even more like clear how like these people don't give a shit that this is set in like some sort of medieval um
Yeah.
fantasy based in medieval
Well,
times, which
half
is
the
most
characters do, half the characters don't. Like, and that's the
well.
weird part.
But even you're talking about like British accents, but I'm talking more like there was a point in which Kit or Jade said, "I'm gonna kick your ass," and I
Yeah.
was like, "You can't say that when you're like dressed with like a leather outfit and carrying a
I think didn't they
sword and
say dude at one point or something too? Like it's
probably
very the slang that they're using is very much like modern slang. Which I mean, whatever. But you have some people have a
no
British accent, some people don't. The slang is all over the place.
all over the place.
The
I think it's
yeah.
okay to have like because some of the what you were saying before, some of them speak American and some of them speak British talk, right?
Mhm.
I'm fine with that. Well, because Star Wars does it too, and Star Wars is fantasy, and it's Star Wars. It works. There's some like unwritten
Yeah,
rules and
but in
some
Star
levels in Star
Wars,
Wars,
like there's millions of planets and people from all over and all of these things. This
but
is
they don't
this
talk like when you.
this
That's
these are two members of the same family that don't talk alike.
yes, yeah. Two people from the same family don't talk the same. No, and Star Wars had a bit of a and we're talking like early Star Wars, like
Yeah.
original trilogy. Like okay, the Jedi spoke probably in a British accent, and then you have the like Luke Skywalker and his parents who were in like this, desert planet had
Yeah.
some sort of like unwritten rules of consistency.
Yes.
And they never spoke as informally these people do. Like part of the fun in Star Wars, like what annoyed Harrison Ford was that he told George Lucas, like, you can write these things, but you can't say them because the lines are like scruffy looking nerf herder. Like it
Yeah.
sounds like Star Warsy and silly. This one just sounds like people talking, like you and me talking right now.
But it wasn't the same in the original, right? Like
No,
so in the original Willow, it was all pretty consistent. Not
it was
the
written by Lucas, so
yeah.
it was a similar mindset, I think.
Yeah. And then this is like yeah, like I said, there's a brother and sister that don't even talk alike, right? Which is
Right.
interesting to say the least.
And then every episode ends with like a pop song that just comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, what was it? They had Metallica on
Yeah. It
episode three, and they had I
was a
can't
cover of
remember.
Metallica, right?
Yeah, it was a cover. Yeah,
Yeah.
both they're always a cover. It's never the original. And then I think it
Right.
was like the Rolling Stones or the Who, or I can't remember who it was, but it was like a 1970s rock band for episode four. Which
It
I
feels
actually
wrong.
yeah, I like covers and I like it when it's used correctly. Perfect example of this is Westworld. Westworld used
Yeah.
covers and they used the player piano and the music fit so perfectly into it. Um, but they used a set design to make the music sound right, right? Like they used the player piano in Westworld to show like that it's in a modern world, but it's being played as a cover because it's supposed to be in this other world. This is just like the music just comes in the background. It doesn't really make any sense. And usually when you start to do things like that, you're trying to ramp up to like a climactic point or something. Um, I think in episode three they kind of did. Episode four, they, I mean, they left it on. I guess you'd call it a cliffhanger. That's the other thing. Like I feel like the writing is what makes. I think I love everything about this show except for the writing. The acting I can look past because I do think that I like the world and stuff, and it's a Disney Plus show. I can look past bad acting. The writing is pretty atrocious though, in my mind.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why I did that. Muted myself. Yeah, I completely agree with everything you just said. Like, and also like the cinematography is good. Special effects look
Yeah.
really good.
Special effects aren't bad, especially for
On
a TV
location.
show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's shot on location. It's not like this massive screen that they use for the
Yeah.
Mandalorian. You know what I mean? Like they don't have
Hmm.
that. They're like they went to Ireland or like it just looks like maybe the UK, New Zealand,
Yeah.
something like that. Like they shot it somewhere, and it looks like it. Like they like there's many like I feel like there were people that cared, but then Jonathan Kasdan's scripts just came in. They were like, oh crap,
Yeah, I
and
mean
then they
the
got
script is
these
the worst. I
the
mean, and the
worst.
thing is it kind of seems like he had something to go by. It's almost like I don't want to get into this because a lot of people disagree, but like the end of Game of Thrones, where like George R. R. Martin gives you some like key highlights, like go here, do this, and then you leave it to like DB Weiss, and they and then they get in there and they just like "Brr," whatever to get to this point. It
Yeah.
seems like that. Like he knows like it's coherent enough to move the story forward. So I feel like he had the major milestones. Maybe Lucas left them behind or something like that. But the in between is garbage. Like it makes no sense. The dialogue between characters is bad.
I mean, the
Um,
plot is as generic as it gets. Like a group of like a fellowship or like
yeah,
typical fantasy stuff. You have a group of funny characters that have to go out and do something or get something. Here, they're supposed to rescue somebody. Like that's like the plot. There's nothing to the plot. Like the only
yeah,
thing they had to do was to cover this plot with good characters. But there's certain characters, like especially like let's talk about like Kit because Kit the princess like she's the best example of like what this thing is. And again, I don't want to like criticize the actress. She's doing what she the best she can, but God, is she annoying and inconsistent? Like spoilers,
well, the
but like
dialogue, yeah,
the dialogue and like but there's this point in episode 4 where she's like, we gotta kill Elora, like we gotta just
hmm
kill her. It's like, what? Like you want to just kill her? Like, and then she's like, yeah, no choice but to kill her, we gotta kill her. And it's like what? Like what? And then by the end of the episode, she's the one that helps Elora, like
well, and like
save
that's
Tony Revolori.
it's like she's jealous or something, and like that
I
doesn't really even make
There's no
sense
motivation.
because
There's nothing on her like except like she's immature
and there's
and
this
like
wonderful
stubborn.
there's
Yeah.
this wonderful subplot that's in there too, which is her dad is gone, and you see like dashes of this subplot, but like there's no emotion tied to it, right? Like there's nothing. Like she's just like, I hate my dad, and then like even as Borman keeps trying to be like, no, your dad was a really good guy. If he really loved you, he'd come back. And it's like, okay, well, like that's good, but like, can we give a little bit more to that or whatever? And it's just like, no, they just kind of skip over it. So it's like the subplot is there. Maybe they'll bring it up later, I hope, but they could really suss it out a lot better. And she could have. I mean, she lost her dad. Come on now, this is like a very classic story that they
Yeah, but
could
it's
get
even
on.
that sloppy because it's always the point of like like you get some information about where Mark Mardigan is, and then you don't get, and you slowly discover. Like that's fine, but
Yeah.
here it's written so sloppily that it feels like Kit's conversations with Borman are cut in half for the
Hmm.
interests of drama. Like you're like, no, this conversation would have continued. Like they
Yeah.
were together in their own quest for the whole third episode.
Yep.
Like she did not question like where the hell is my dad? What the hell? Like never. Like it's just like it's frustrating. It's
Well,
frustrating.
they're more focused on this magic armor, which also she just kind of lets go. Like this guy has betrayed them over and over and over again, and then he goes down into a well. He's down there for a while, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I just believe you that you didn't find it." Like what?
Yeah, I
Like
know, I know.
like this guy has. This guy screwed you over like 4 times, and we're only in the third episode, and you're still gonna trust him? It's like, no, you like no character would be that dumb. That's such sloppy
Especially her.
writing.
Like she's like stubborn and mean and blah blah blah, and she still believes that like it's inconsistent. Like if she's a
And then
character that yeah,
yeah, and
it,
then they show that he found it, and then he even admits to her that he found it, and then she just drops it.
yeah.
Like what? So it's just
It,
it's
it's
not.
it's and let's talk about Borman for a minute because to me it's that guy is by far the best part of the show. He's better than
Yeah.
Willow. We'll talk about Willow in a minute, but he's better than Willow. Well, you and I sort of disagreed because I believe they told the actor like, "Hey, do Jack Sparrow,
Yeah.
but instead of being in the Caribbean, you're in this mythical land." Um, you feel like he's like the new version of McMartigan,
Yeah, I do. I do
which
think that
is
he's the new version. I mean,
it's a
which is
similar
sloppy in its own
character.
right.
Yeah.
It's a very similar character, but it is sloppy in its own right. And he was supposed to be the squire or, whatever. Which they changed that in episode 3. By the way, this is why the consistency of the plot is so bad. Is because, like, in episode 2, I believe that he tells her that he was a squire. In episode 3, when they're on their little journey, he was like, oh, we were partners or something like that. Like, it doesn't. And then he talks about another partner that they had. It just like the plot is the details are not there. Like
There are no details. They don't think about it. Like I feel like people in medieval times, again, this is a mythical land of whatever the name of the land is, but like people in a medieval setting would know the importance of the difference between being partners and
mhm,
being squire. Like
yeah,
there's a really really massive difference here.
huge
It's
difference.
like huge, especially when you're talking to a guy who was essentially the king.
Hmm. Yeah,
Like he's never been referred to as the king, but he was the king.
he was the king. He was the queen's husband. They got married.
Yeah,
They talk about they got married, so he was the queen. He was the king, and they never referred to him as that. It just
never.
it's. And here's the thing: you and I rag on things for being too detailed all the time. It's like our number one complaint. But this is like it's not even plot armor. I don't know how to explain what it is. Like it's just bad writing. That's what it comes down to. Like I don't care that they brush over things. I don't care that it's very fast paced. I actually really enjoy the pacing of the show. I think that that's probably the best thing that it's got going for it.
By
It doesn't
far.
it
Yeah.
doesn't get caught up on the details. Like, it introduces the castle from the movie and it's just there and it's like stormy and horrible and all of these other things. And we don't need to know anymore. Like, I'm okay with those types of plot armor when you're talking about movies and shows like this. But when you can't even have consistency between the characters from episodes 1 to 2 to 3, like that's not that's not detail. That's just like basic writing 101. And
Completely.
I
Completely.
know that sounds horrible, but like, and you and I never really rag hard on people on this show, but like, I like the show. This is the problem, is that I like the show, and that the writing is just so awful that the more I sit there and think about it, the more I'm like, well, here's another issue, and here's another issue, and here's another issue.
It takes you out of it. It takes you
Yeah,
out of it. If you, otherwise, you would enjoy it more. And I think a part. I mean, I reference Willow because the show is called Willow, but it's not about Willow. Like Willow has
yeah,
one or two scenes per episode, and he's also wildly inconsistent in the way he treats people. Like there's a point where Tony Revolori's character, Prince Graydon, um, like he seems to know more about magic that he's letting on because he's
yeah.
insecure of himself and all that. And he makes a comment about magic, and then Willow's a complete dick to him. He's
Hmm.
like, I thought I was the sorcerer. Like, why are you talking? And it's like, why would Willow do this? Like, people were dicks to him when he was trying to be
Yeah.
a sorcerer when he was young. Why would he do this? Like, and then he's super
Oh,
nice to Alora, and then he's a dick to Alora. At one point in episode 4, he tells her to get the fuck out. Like, I need you to do this magic, but get the fuck out. It's
yeah.
like,
I don't have
what?
the power to do it, but please leave.
But please
Uh,
leave. And it's like, and then he fails. She comes back and does it on her own. Again, inconsistency. Like, did they need both or not? Because Willow is then trapped by some like random like rubber statue or something, and he can't move just for the interest of the moment in the plot where Laura needs to do something. Like it's like I get what you're trying to do, but why do you have to do it so poorly?
I can tell you another movie that did this, and it drove me insane. And it's very famous, and the internet might hate me. Half the internet will, half the internet won't. But this is the same thing that happened with Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi, where like the character is wildly inconsistent with everything that predates the character. And what happens is that for people that are maybe little kids or younger or weren't introduced to this, or maybe didn't watch it 5 times or talk about it a month ago like we did, it's not a big deal to them because the character isn't somebody that they know, and like whatever, it's just a kooky character that's an old person who does magic. In the case of The Last Jedi, it's a kooky Luke Skywalker who, can still use the Force, but he's very similarly cut himself off from the Force. And as you find out, like Willow stopped doing magic because he feels the need to, like, not do it for whatever reason that he doesn't want to
Well, he
talk
says
about.
he can't do it, as like he doesn't have the power anymore to do it right
So
or
here's the
something.
thing, yeah. And so multiple times they say different reasons that Willow can't do magic. At one moment, they say Willow can't do magic because he doesn't have the ability anymore. In another moment, the Queen tells him, "You're not even good as a sorcerer because you didn't even banish the Queen in the first place." Another time, it's
Well, here
because
they
he,
just discovered that he didn't defeat the queen. It was the queen that
yeah,
destroyed herself. So now
yeah.
I'm sure that episode 5 will be like, Willow, you're a fraud. You'll see. Because, yeah, you're right about Luke Skywalker. And they did the same thing to like every character they bring back for these stupid ass reboots that you and I
Yep.
keep watching. Like, they're always like sad and pathetic just so that the new characters can look better.
Yeah.
So Luke was an idiot. Like, whatever. What
And he
else
has
have
a
they
crotchety
rebooted?
old man. And like the other thing with
Yeah.
Willow is at one point he goes, "Oh, I need to." Willow says to his friend who dies for whatever reason, for no reason at all. To be completely honest, did that character die? But like,
It was just
uh,
there so somebody could die.
I will. Yeah, I'll get into that in a little bit. But but he says, "Oh, I need to save my magic. A bigger battle is coming." So like there's no consistency on why Willow's not using his magic. And then his friend dies, and when his friend dies, he decides to use his magic, but his friend's already dead by the time he
What?
does that. Like, and it doesn't even look like his friend's gonna die. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And the death is meaningless. It's a meaningless death
Yeah,
because
yeah.
Willow is like able to it doesn't unleash magic for him later, right? Like,
It doesn't make any character grow. Like when you kill
no.
somebody, it's like, okay, we killed, this guy's wife, so he gets revenge. We killed John Wick's dog, so he can get
And the
revenge. We
funnier
killed,
part is that they
yeah.
actually had a growth death scene less than 5 minutes before that, which was when the page had to kill her. The what's his name? I can't remember. The guy who turned evil, who was like sent by the queen, who
Yeah,
got
yeah.
infected,
Whatever
and
his name is.
his squire or page or whatever she was going to train, he trained her. She kills him. So you have a meaningful death literally 5 minutes before, and then you have a meaningless death immediately following it. And then on top of that, you add the drama of what's his name? The him getting stabbed and getting infected. So you have like all of these inconsistencies. Like it just
It just stuff happens, but there's no like it's just sloppy. They're good ideas, but you
yeah,
gotta
they are.
like make them make sense, and they don't do that. And look, let's talk about another death in that third episode, which is the I don't know if this was some sort of cameo or something by the actress's name is Hannah Waddingham, known for playing Rebecca in Ted Lasso,
Ted
and she
Lasso,
was
you
also
know.
in Game of Thrones, and she played the Septa that tortured
Yeah,
Cersei.
the torturous,
Remember?
yeah.
Right. She's like just being in movies all around the place. Now, deservedly so, because she's a really, really talented actress. But like, is she supposed to be like a celebrity cameo? Like, she just
I
like took over
That
the
was
scene, took
super
over the
worthless.
scene.
Yeah, did a great job in the scene, by the way. And
I don't,
then
I don't know. I didn't find her funny. I was more
no, I
like,
didn't think that she was supposed to be funny. So this is also another problem I had is
I,
when
I
I
didn't know.
found
Yeah,
her,
yeah,
when they introduce her, you think that she's going to be a bad character who's going to turn Alora over to the guards, and then she
right.
turns out to be someone who's just crazy, I think. And then she ends up being killed trying to protect Alora in what can arguably be like one of the dumbest death scenes of all time, but a wasted character nonetheless. Like, if you're gonna use just a celebrity cameo, that makes sense, but don't, like, the scene was worthless at that point.
It
Like, the
was
scene made no
worthless.
sense.
Also, something that really bothers me, really, really, really bothers me, was that she like was dressed in like a denim.
Pioneer,
She
pioneer,
was is
like an
that
American pioneer, like the people that went out west to pan for gold. And, like, if you look up, like, 1940 or whatever, 1849 gold rush, like, that's what she looked like.
yes, yeah, way more modern than anything
Mhm.
medieval. Again, it's like fantasy, but her hat, she had an Indiana Jones hat,
Yeah.
and an old denim. You like you said it, like pioneer outfit. It completely took me out of it because it's like why like why are you doing this? Like that was a choice. Like was she wearing that when she arrived on set and they were like, you know what, just keep wearing, like I don't,
No,
and
because
then she
her so-called sister, like, I thought that if she would have been evil, that would have been perfect. Like, that would have been, if you wanted to do a celebrity cameo, her being evil in the woods and handing over Alora, that would have been a perfect scene, right? Like, oh, we don't want the new Alora Dan, blah blah blah. Like, hand her over. That would have been a good scene. It's just, it was written so that she could be a good character, but she was a weird character and, like, all these other things. I think that she pulled it, like, did a good job with what she had as far as acting goes, but I think that the character should have been a bad person, not a good person. Um, it just, it's wildly inconsistent across the entire show,
wildly
honestly.
inconsistent, frustratingly so. And I don't know. I don't like. I don't know why I enjoy it because it's so stupid. Like it's like there's something about the pacing and the cinematography and the action, however brief it is, that kind of like keeps you engaged. Like and the episodes feel like they go by in 10 minutes and they're
Yeah,
like
they're really
almost an
fast.
hour, right? And
Yeah,
they go by really fast. Like so, I guess I would say I hate it, but I enjoy it, which doesn't make any sense.
yeah. That's what I said at the beginning. That's in summation. Like, I'm gonna keep watching it. Even my wife likes it, and she doesn't watch
My
very many
Rachel likes
things.
it too. Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it's very strange that she would like something like this, but she likes it. She actually really likes it. Um, so it's kind of strange.
It's kind
But
of strange. It's a weird feeling. Like I guess like a question for you is like, would you recommend it?
I don't know. I
It's
don't
hard to
actually
know,
know. It's
right?
really hard. This
It's
is one of the, like, there are very few things that, um, very, very few things that I would say I don't know on recommendation. Usually I'm like, or yeah, definitely. This is one of those that I'm just like, go watch it and see if you like it.
figure it out yourself. Like, do
Yeah.
you like the original movie? I don't know if it matters if you like the original, because I don't feel as much as I liked it as a kid. I don't feel the kind of nostalgia I get with other things when I watch Willow. Like I don't like I like it, but I'm not like it's not Star Wars and it's not Karate Kid or whatever. Like
Yeah.
it's a different kind of nostalgia. Um,
Yeah, I
People
mean,
that don't like the original, like who is it? We talked about this last time, but who the hell is this for? Like, is this for you and me? Because I think it's too stupid for people like you and me. But is
yeah.
it for young people? Then it referenced the original too much, so young people are also going to be like, "What the hell is this? Like, who is this for? Who's watching it?"
I still, after 4 episodes, cannot figure out where or who the target audience is for. Like, I don't know what age it's for. I don't know if it's maybe this is, we were joking before this, but, there are markets outside the United States that are very, very large, China, India, Europe, that have different sets of movies, right? Like, you see different sets of movies. There are big movie houses like in Indonesia, right? They make pretty awesome hyper violent movies. We reviewed The Riot before. Um, Maybe it's for a different market that's not ours.
The
I would
raid,
highly doubt it. Yeah,
the raid. You said the
the
riot,
raid.
right?
Oh yeah, I said The Riot. Sorry, the
I
raid.
was like the
Yeah,
riot.
no, the raid. So,
Yeah.
there are movies out there that are for other markets. Maybe this is a show that's for a different market. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense because we're watching it week after week. Or other people, I kind of doubt it. Maybe.
I don't think anybody's watching this. Like, you know what I started watching because I hate myself, like over the weekend? National Treasure, the show
Oh, the new
National
show.
Treasure. Yeah. It's basically, it has many of the same things. I
Hmm.
wish maybe we should review it if you're interested in watching it, because like it's so 2020. Like it's just like many of the ideas of the originals, like I feel like that summarizes Willow as well, like the ideas of the originals, the concept of the originals, but just whittled down to like the dumbest common denominator, where like things are just like meant to be for stupid people to enjoy. Like they're thinking the audience is stupider than we actually are. We're all
Yeah.
idiots, but like honestly, they think we're dumber than we are, and that's kind of like it's starting to make me cringe with these shows.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, even if the audience is extremely stupid, Willow is still a little too dumb for the average audience, in my humble
Yes,
opinion.
yes, for sure. Not everything can
Because like
be.
they act like
Yeah,
you're not going to notice massive inconsistencies on a show that's 30 minutes long. Each episode is actually a little bit shorter than 30 minutes, I think. So you could binge. I mean, you'll be able to binge the
no, they're
entire
like
thing.
55 minutes.
Are they really?
Yes,
Oh, I thought they were like 30 minutes.
they're like 55 minutes, but like usually Disney has like 10 minutes of credits for some reasons, or
Yeah.
like
Oh,
40
yeah, yeah.
minutes, stuff like that. But they're longer than the
Hmm.
Mandalorian, and like the Mandalorian, it's usually like 20 minutes
I just
plus
feel like
credits.
if you binge watch multiple, so yesterday I did something. I watched both episodes back to back, which I didn't. I did for the first one as well, but I had missed the week because we were traveling. So I watched them back to back, and that's why I noticed like even more inconsistencies. Like if you watch the first four episodes back to back, you can be like, "Hang on, wait, that was like last episode." Like a little
Like,
bit ago, I just
what is
saw this.
going
Like
on? Yeah, yeah,
versus, I
completely
mean, maybe
inconsistent.
you forget things week to week, but like when you're binging, you're not gonna forget it. It's right there. I mean, all four episodes of this so far are about the length of Avatar, so just
Which we're
we're
gonna
about to
talk
talk
about
now.
in two
Yeah,
minutes.
yeah, which are a lead in, which is why I'm bringing it up. But
That was good.
um,
Yeah. All right, let's close it out. We'll be back, I guess, in 2 weeks to review two more episodes. 2 weeks or so. But for now, we'll see you in 2 minutes. Connect to our show to watch our review of Avatar: The Way of Water. Um, Goodbye.
like